I have been involved in recent months with CPANTesters. Uh, it has always seemed very important to me. Now, if you ask my boss about how we do testing, the outcome may cause some of you to cringe a little bit. That's okay. But testing, I feel, is a solid thing. And obviously for the cyber resilience and the kinds of things that European regulations are going to require, the necessity of robust testing just goes up. It never is going to come down. And CPAN testing a few months ago was in kind of a sorry state of affairs. All right, yeah, and most of us know about it, right? So I explained it to my office assistant and asked for their input for this slide so that I could get a quote from them, something interesting by someone saying something other than me saying so. And this is what he said. That is my office assistant, Henry Hound Dog Holloway, who, by the way, has his own Facebook page. He's a better social media maven than I am. So, please feel free to connect with him as well. No, really, it was in a bad state. It had gotten into what was called on the website a degraded state. It had been that way for months. You click for a matrix from MetaCPAN. You want to go see the testers matrix. Didn't always work. It would time out, or you'd get unhealthy back-end errors, all kinds of curious, arcane sorts of errors. And Doug Bell, who had been maintaining that pretty much on his own for years, was MIA. Now, Doug does, and as far as I know, still does, work for Grant Street, but he's a busy guy. And, uniquely in this community, life hit him like a train. That never happens to any of us, does it? Right? And so the things were in a bad state, and on CPANTesters on IRC, there was a lot of, gosh, where's pre-action? Send him an email. Gosh, where's pre-action? Hit him on the Slack. Gosh, where's pre-action? Ping him here. Nothing worked. We couldn't get anybody there to fix things. We weren't able to fix things in a timely way because nobody had access to the boxes. But then there were meetings. Meetings fix everything, don't they? This time they did, though. All right. So Scott Baker from out in Oregon, had talked a little bit, and we had an idea maybe for a new interface that if the existing system just suddenly dropped off the edge of the earth, would at least recover the capability and give us some path forward. And it would scrape the log.txt from the other one, get some test results, make a copy, hang on to it, gave us a simple presentation. It wasn't anything fancy, it wasn't beautiful, but it was a prototype. And I posted about it. We called it Perl Magpie because it collects shiny things and it'll show them to you on request like a magpie will do. And I posted about it on the CPANTesters email list, which it seemed after a little time was sufficient to draw Doug out of the woodwork. And he responded. And there was much rejoicing in the halls. There was cheering and great rejoicing among the assembly. Oh, we've heard from Doug. All right, and after some back and forth and some emails and some conversations on IRC, we decided to have a Zoom call. Well, I have a professional Zoom account, so it was no big deal. I set one up, and we had about 9 of us there. And then that turned into a burst of activity at the Perl Toolchain Summit at the beginning of May, including several first-time attenders to the summit, including me, for reasons that I still do not quite grok, but am grateful for. So you had several newish folks to the community interacting and talking about how CPANTesters does work or doesn't work and needs to work going forward. Some of those folks, Farron Kirky, fantastic guy. Lives in Berlin, freaking brilliant DB admin like you have never met, I swear. Scott Baker, as I mentioned earlier, He and I hit it off at once. We riff off each other. We give good ideas. We back and forth. He's excited about making testers work and be a valuable asset again. Mitaldu, Christian Wild, fantastic guy. Exodus, who we all know, and is unfortunately not here. James Keenan, who does a lot of bleed break CPAN testing, and a reinvigorated pre-action. There's been a lot going on. We've got a lot of progress, and here's the core strategy. Let's separate the concerns a little bit. Collecting reports from all the people that are doing testing versus APIs to access them and create visualizations. Results. We addressed the immediate problems. They're fixed. We've restored operational safety. We've got clean backups. We've reduced load from MetaCPAN because that was the primary load generator by moving to Fast2 Matrix, which is run by Slavin, a separate visualization engine. We've removed single-person points of failure. There are 2 people that have every system access at every level, at least, sometimes several. And we've improved our self-hosted monitoring stack, so we have lots of monitors, so we know when things break. We've contacted hosting providers of the current systems, because some of those were like, oh, so-and-so set this system up, and then they left the company, and it's still running, and who knows when it'll get turned off. OSU OSL, the open source lab, has offered us some capacity, which is great for setting up some new things. And we have a new development node at Scott Chief Baker's company. Great guy. We've reduced the database workload, and we've resolved our saturation issues. You're not going to get those errors near as often anymore. It works. Progress now. Right now, they're recovering the database replica storage pool so that we have replica copies of the database running all the time that maintain themselves. We're decoupling the reporting from the database itself using an API in the middle so that you can create new and exciting visualizations other than the grid that we're all used to. Coming attractions, a richer new interface to act as a decision tool. Do I want to use this module or that module? What version of the module do I want to use? We need richer interfaces to that information. Continued performance improvement. That thing accrues about 10,000 reports a day. We want that number to go up, so we need to be able to handle more than that. And new and better ways to become a tester yourself. How can we get more tests in, get more people running more tests on more variants of the system? And that's what we're up to. Thanks for your time.